Hello, welcome to my video about Polonaise in A-flat major, opus 53, the heroic one by Chopin. In this video I want to show you some exercises and the ways of work to improve this piece if you play it or if you want to play it in the future, how to overcome certain difficulties that we have in this piece, and mostly technical problems. I'm not going to go deeper into the interpretation because everybody can have its own interpretation, but certainly there are some problems which we all pianists have to deal with. So I will just show you my approach with a hope that it can be helpful for you. If you don't know my video about this Polonaise with the analysis, I heartily invite you to watch it before you watch this video, so that you can exactly know the analysis of this piece in case you don't know it yourself. It's also helpful for you. But now I just want to focus on certain aspects and problems that we have in this piece. Already the first page is quite demanding. What is the first difficulty here? Definitely these notes that are going out, the 16th notes, which we have them 1, 2, 3 and 4 times. So every time the fingering is a little bit different, the notes are a little bit different, and so on. How to practice that? Well, first of all, I strongly recommend to memorize them, or to take them out and to practice only them, or only those passages, to memorize each of them and to memorize fingering. It's very helpful to do it mentally, so I usually do like this. I close my key and I memorize it, then I memorize the fingering, then I imagine the keyboard. Imagining the keyboard is quite easy because you just imagine 2 black, 3 black, 2 black, 3 black, the keys, right? And then I close my eyes and then I just play with good fingerings all the passage. If I can't do it immediately, I can do it, maybe I can do 2 notes, then I can do 3, then I can do 4, 5, so like a little bit like this. But definitely I strongly recommend to do it at first in your head without playing the piano. You can do it on your leg, you can do it when you are bored, when you are wasting time, I don't know, waiting in some queue, or when you are flying or traveling or whatever, because this is something that you don't need the piano to practice it, and I promise you it is extremely helpful. Then definitely what is also very helpful here is to separate voices in the right hand and practice each of them. So first to practice the upper voice, for example, but with the fingering that you are going to use later. So here, well, I'm playing actually in the upper voice 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. So I only use the 3 last fingers. And then the down voice, the lower voice, also separately, right? So you, then it's also easier later to play. And when you know each voice, then you can, when you play it both, you can think about only one voice at the same time. Another exercise very good is to play one voice staccato and another one legato, like for example this, or the opposite way. And of course also play fast, only 3 notes, then 4, for example. And mind you that you are relaxed in your elbow, because of course that's also a problem very often. So this is the main problem here. I think this is the problem. The problem here we have only in the articulation. So I recommend to practice it a non-legato way. And so on. Then the next problem that you might have is the left hand octaves here in bar 13. Well, in fact, this also is a challenge. What is this problem here? First of all, the left hand has to play fast octaves. And so the left hand must be able to play ya-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. So this is the first exercise I would do. Ya-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. In your leg, for example, la-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, right? When you can play it in the tempo that you ya-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, that you are satisfied with, then you can continue on the keyboard. If it's a problem for you to play it like this, because it might be, then again start with 2, ta-tam, 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 then add 1, so ta-ta-tam, ta-ta-tam, then 4, ta-ta-ta-tam, then 5, ta-ta-ta-ta-tam, and then 6, and so on. Sometimes it takes, you know, days or weeks to have this movement. When you have this movement, then proceed to octaves, and first of all try to play only one octave like this. And every time you only play one time, then you relax your hand, because the hand gets very tensed when you play very fast octave. So relax, relax. Then you can try. Of course, you need to play it slowly. The same exercise as before, you can add like 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. Well, I know it looks easy, but of course, well, I practiced it a lot before, but with many days of practicing, it will be helpful. Another thing, also, you can first use only your thumb, and you can practice only the thumb. Generally speaking, octaves are easier to play when we think about the thumb only. We never think about the fifth finger. We think about the thumb, and when the thumb can play by itself, then you can play. And it comes with all the octaves that we have in every piece of music. The first theme, of course we have jumps in the left hand, so the left hand must learn itself, alone. You have to study left hand alone, and you have to be very careful on the slurs. We have a slur, staccato, and slur. Slur, staccato, and slur. This is important because this is the way how Chopin wrote the Polonaise soul. But definitely it's very important also to remember that the Polonaise rhythm is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So the 1, you can learn it only with the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And this spirit should be in the Polonaise, in the whole Polonaise, in fact. What is also difficult in the left, it can be difficult in the left hand, are those arpeggios here. Especially for smaller hands. Smaller hands, you can try to have a different fingering. When I play every time to the thumb, and I use a lot on my wrist, right? I use my wrist. We know that Chopin was using a lot his wrist. But if you have a very small hand, then you can also consider another fingering like this. Then you need even more flexible fingers, yes, and hand, and also very fast fingers for this, because you can't really help you with the hand, with the wrist. Here, definitely, I strongly recommend to practice each arpeggio by itself, by for example, if you play my fingering, that always finds the middle, the center of the hand. For example, in the second arpeggio in bar 20. This is the middle, so we have this finger should always be on this key, and then we have this two and this one. Also, what helps, you can practice like this, for example. Relax, 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 and relax. Then maybe you can add, so you can play two, relax and again, relax and again, and repeat 20, 30, 100 times, depends. And three, for example. What is also very important is that fingers are always prepared before you play. So prepare at least three fingers, this, on the keys, and then just play. Prepare, they are touching the right keys, then you play, and prepare. So this preparation is extremely important. Prepare, 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 prepare. Okay, so that's the left hand. If you have problem with the jumps, or this is the same rule comes. You have to prepare, prepare, prepare. Never play before you are prepared. Right hand, here. Well, we have two voices, so we need, of course, we need to be relaxed. And we need a good legato, of course, but the legato that we need is in the upper voice. Don't really try to play legato both voices, because first of all we have the pedal, second of voice, what we really hear is the top voice. So if you play the down voice can be played staccato. You need to use the pedal as well, but you have to be very careful that the upper voice is a perfect legato. That's very important. The first difficulty we have here and again fingering is important, but I personally play in the upper voice 5, 3 and then 5, 4. So 5, 3, 5, 4. And again relax, and again only this. Well, first I think you have to practice this short note. And also you can practice only top voice. What helps here also is the mental practicing that I showed you at the beginning. So you close your eyes and you play exactly the same fingering, and you imagine the keyboard. That's quite important. There is one very demanding moment in bar 27. Here. This is, well, if you have the accurate edition, there is a very interesting help here written. I mean, that you play right hand like this. Only one note here. This note you take to the left hand. So instead of playing in the right hand, you play in the left hand, and the next chord the same thing. So then you have. So what you really need to practice is only right hand, so, and the octave. Also, I strongly recommend to play the first note staccato, so that you don't really have a stretched and tensed hand. So like this, in a slow tempo, staccato, pam, and then, sorry. And this note also staccato, listen. Staccato, 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 staccato. Why? Because first of all we have pedal. When I play with pedal you will never hear that I'm doing this, look. it's much easier to play this way. Also here, always think about the legato, but never really, in my opinion, practice with the pedal, without the pedal, because you need to, your leg, your pedal needs to cooperate with your hands, and you have to use your ears. We will have the pedal here, so only legato you do need to do in your upper voice. Okay, then the scale. Well, the scale, definitely you need to study scales and arpeggios, that's for sure. And every hand separately, you need to know every hand separately in the tempo. How to get the tempo? Well, you have to also make smaller scales, very little scales, and play them faster. So make grouping. Grouping is, for example, the first two notes, but usually grouping is from the thumb to the last finger, so like this. Like this. The left hand has different grouping, right? Because left hand has... So you cannot really practice it hands together, but hands together you can practice, for example, from C to B flat. So stop and then and stop. That helps actually. If you make it if you make a few groups, then it helps. This one, this. Then you have the same group 3 times. So it is as if you play, right? That makes it much easier. Okay, here we have a real problem with the very loud voice. Well, this trill, some pianists play it like this, which actually is a mistake, because we know from the fact, there's a proof written with Chopin's hand in his method, that when he wrote something like we have here in bar 33, he only meant that the trill should start from the note, but should not repeat the same note 2 times. So you just play, depending on your fast fingers, how fast your fingers are, you play it only 2 times, like you know, like the drum, or only 1 time. 1 time is also okay. What is important is that these fingers are quite, you have to move them, you have to put them up, so that the articulation is like drums. And here it's extremely important to have a relaxed hand again. So I strongly recommend to practice like this. For example, this. Then stop, relax, and then play stop, relax, and then again stop, relax, then relax, and then okay, this moment again. We have a lot of pedal here. Again, you don't need to play legato all the voices, just stay relaxed with your hand, and top voice. Other voices can be played staccato, then your hand is much relaxed, much more flexible. The same comes, like I told you before, about the arpeggios. So as I said, well, also right hand, I recommend to practice everything staccato with the relaxed, like this. Everything staccato. Okay, so that's, I think, well, left hand here, again the same thing. You need to prepare, it's very important to have a very fast movement of the hand. This is bar 39. A very fast movement of the hand. and preparation. Prepare all the fingers. So you have to prepare all the fingers so that you don't move your hand after jump. That's because you lose the time. That's very important. Then we don't really have any new problems until the middle part, the famous octaves. Here, this is a real challenge. First of all, of course, the challenge is to play it through. Right, this. Well, I practice it quite a lot, but I found out that there is no point in struggling, because when I try to fight with my muscles, when I feel pain, I felt pain before, now I don't, I will never win. Why? Because the more I practice, the more the muscle comes stronger, and it will never end. So what I really have to do is I just have to relax, and I don't need to use all the muscles. So the most important thing is to find the relaxation. It's good to practice only 4 notes and relax. And relax. But the first thing I would suggest to start with only the thumb. You can even play hands together and play only with the thumb. Then when you can play with the thumb, then you can start to play octaves, in my opinion. But as I said, stop, stop. Later, when you can play like this, you can add 4 notes, so and relax, and relax. This kind of practicing session you need to repeat every day, and I'm sure after 1-2 weeks it will be much better. Another thing which helps me is the movement of the hand, when I imagine actually a movement like this. And when the octaves later change the key, when we have it in bar 97, this circle is on a different in a different direction. So first we have like this, and then this is like from left to right, from left to right, from left to right, and then we have from right to left. This is a quite difficult moment, but the good thing is that Chopin himself didn't want it to be played too fast. He wrote, well, we have the quotation of Chopin. He said he doesn't like, once he heard the Polonaise played very fast, and he was very sad because the spirit of this Polonaise was missing, he said. So you don't need to play it so fast, but definitely, as I said, the relaxation of the left hand is the clue. Of course, here you can also try to practice with the rhythms, like for example, or right, or too fast and too, or too, and very good exercises also 4 slow and 4 fast. All this, I think, should be very helpful. About the technical exercise in the middle part, slow part, we don't really have them. And at the end, I strongly recommend, when we come to bar 171, this moment, to sing each note when you go up, not to just play like this, because then we don't really have. So I think trying to imagine that it's like kind of nocturno is much more helpful. And also what what is helpful is to wait a little bit before playing the last note. So like this. But not so much, of course, but just a very little. Then you are sure you will always have this note, you will always play it. Yes, so I think I didn't want this video to be too long. I hope it is helpful in case you have some problems that I didn't talk about. Please write down under this video and I'll try to answer or even record a new one. Thanks for watching, happy practicing and all the best. Thanks, bye.